Hi, I'm 9 Pound Paintbrush and I'm going to show you how I varnish my paintings. This is a finished oil piece. I call it the Ambiance of Dreams. First you want to start with a mop brush. That just means like a very fluffy brush. One that's very fluffy, very nice, very forgiving, like a makeup brush. And you just want to make sure you get all the little bits and pieces that may be on your painting, like dust, or if you have pets, any hair. Just check it out, make sure everything's out. I recently moved. This was in storage for a little bit. It had a little bit of dust on it. I want to make sure it's nice and clean. Alright, after you do that, you're going to take your varnish. This is the varnish that I like to use. So a lot of people just pour it right on there, right? They're very satisfying videos. You don't want to do that. I'm sorry, it's so satisfying, but you don't want to do that because then you get a concentrated amount of varnish in the center, wherever you pour it. And it also kind of wastes varnish. You don't need that much. So here you go. Oh, also for your varnish brush, you want it to be very clean and straight, very new. But it doesn't have to be expensive. This is just like an Artist Loft one. It can be very cheap. It's got to be together and firm enough. Like it can't be. See how this one is like wider in the base and stuff, so it's fluffy. You don't want it to be fluffy. You want it to be just like a straight edge. All right. So I like to dip to my varnish. And then I get all the excess off. You want all the excess off. Although for this one, actually it's a big painting. I actually don't need to get the excess off, but it's still good. And boom. Start it up. This one's going to take a little bit longer than my other ones, simply because of the size. Even though it's really not that big, it's probably a 14 by 12, I want to say. Maybe a 14 by 17. Yeah, that sounds right. Something like that. I hope it's not too shiny, so you guys can actually see how it makes the color very vibrant. Yes. Some acrylic paintings don't necessarily need to be varnished. Like, it's good to varnish to make it last longer, to protect the painting. But when I say they don't necessarily need it, is because a lot of acrylics are naturally shiny, and they stay shiny, and when you paint them on, they'll always be shiny. While oil paint dulls. Once it's dry, it's dull. It's not as nice and shiny, but your varnish really brings out the colors, really puts that gloss on there. That's why I use a gloss one. Anyway, you can get a matte finish. Mattes can be very satisfying, but I like to be glossy and proud. Some artists like to say that this is their 4K sauce, so that you can see their painting in 4K. This painting I don't think is a good example of that because since there's so many colors going on, it being more vibrant doesn't necessarily bring out details because there's not detailed. It's not a detailed piece at all. It's very soft. All right. And then you'll want to just let this dry for a few days. Basically, that's it. But when you dry, you want it to be standing upright. The reason being is if it's laying down, it will collect dust. So yeah, you want to make sure you have a place that is well ventilated and allows your painting to stand up. Alrighty, that's how you varnish your painting. Thank you. Happy varnishing.